Hello, and welcome to my screenshot art tutorial. I've had quite a few people ask how I do my screenshots, so I decided to make a tutorial on the subject. This video will be covering a simple actor scene without any action. Decided to make this scene more of a mystery. There are a few specific topics that I'll be going over in this video. Our first topic will be the concept. Conceptualizing the scene. What do you want to make? Do you want to make the scene showing a unit of soldiers marching with a crowd cheering or booing as they walk down the street? Understanding what you want to portray before you start crafting the scene will make it go faster. I wanted to make my scene have a mysterious aftermath feeling, so that's where I begin. I chose a map based on this concept, one that has a nice planet in the skybox. Now that I have a map with general ambience, I begin placing the larger props. I consider larger props things that'll change where your actors can and cannot go. Things like buildings, vehicles, and wrecks. The next portion is placing smaller props, like burned bodies. These are items that add to the ambience of the scene, and can be an object of interaction with the actors. These can be items like doors, computers, bodies, weapons, etc. The last of the prop placing are what I like to refer to as paint. These are items that usually only affect the look of what the object is placed around, and can include blood, scorch marks, craters, etc. Now we're going to talk a little bit about a mod that I have found absolutely necessary for most, if not all, of the screenshot art that I've made. Polpox's artwork supporter. I'll leave a link in the description. Seriously, if you plan on making any of your own screenshot art with Arma, please get this. It will make your work way easier. I'm going to use his mod. I'm going to go to the objects, and I'm going to use his particle dropper to go ahead and start putting things like smoke, fire, and objects like this. They're awesome, amazing, and simple to edit, but you're going to have to play around with them. I have my preferences on them, and it can be really complex to get to your personal preference. Play around with it. Spend a lot of time, play around with the weather, the wind, all of that stuff will affect these things. But play around with it, get it to your liking, and then go from there. Me telling you my preferences isn't going to help you with your preferences. Now we're going to talk a little bit about actors. These actors are basically the AI units for Arma 3. It really sets the scene for you. You can do pictures without them, but when you have them, you can get amazing scenes and amazing screenshots. I could have chosen a hugely different set of actors and changed their equipment and made the scene go from mysterious to horrific or horror or any number of different things just by changing the actors that I placed. I chose to put in Inquisition Stormtroopers, Death Watch Space Marines, and an Inquisitor. I didn't want to make it a horror screenshot. I just wanted to make it mysterious. I could have added civilian researchers and just removed the soldiers, and it would have been more of a horror theme. We're also going to talk a little bit about equipment. Generic equipment can still make a beautiful shot. I always like to have an actor that stands out. I chose to make the Inquisitor stand out against all of the other armed soldiers. However, in a little while, I'll find out that was pointless. There was an issue with the placement of the model, and I didn't really feature the model prominently in any of the screenshots because of that. Lastly, always take the time. Check over your scene for things that could be added to immerse the viewer in the picture. I will eventually add lights to the Stormtroopers' helmets. Now we're actually going to play the scene that we've created and use the Zeus functionality to further edit the scene. I heavily suggest having Achilles, MCC, and the Chroma editor. These will finalize our scene ambience. You'll also get to witness a mess up with the Inquisitor's feet, which I talked about earlier being stuck under the building. With MCC, I'll use the environment module and change the environment to have dust and fog. I will then use the Chroma edit to change the post-process effects. I will then attempt to increase the fog via the vanilla method to no avail. Finally, I'll jump into the camera and set up my personal preference with the camera effects, moving around and taking the shots as I find comfortable and pleasing. I'll post a link to my Instagram where these were thrown up through a quick edit and posted before the video was uploaded. That concludes my main methods for simple scene with actors. I spent a few hours working on this. I hope you only have to spend a few minutes watching to understand. I hope to see you again for my next tutorial. You can find my screenshots on Instagram and some of my other creations on Thingiverse. Links will be in the description.